Welcome to my YouTube channel. You are in for a treat today because I'm going to show you exactly how to get the most bombshell blonde bob hair you've ever been able to get on your clients. We're gonna do highlights, lowlights, giving her a nice money piece with some foliage technique. So get ready, buckle up, because we are gonna have a blast today. While you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe and that bell to get reminded of my new videos each and every Monday that you don't want to miss. That's going to level up your skills and knowledge. But before we get right into it, I want to let you know that skill and talent, I know you've already got it. You've got a lot of it and you're always learning, which I really think is awesome. But do you know that like 80% of an appointment is all in the communication? Custom consultations is something that I implemented into my business 4 years ago, and things changed. My clients were happier, better results, all because it wasn't skill and talent, but it was all miscommunications that were happening before. So if you want to know how to better communicate with your clients, having them showing up on time, not no-showing, liking their hair, not coming in for fixes that aren't really fixes, check the link below, all about Rock Your Consultation. You are going to love it. All right, let's get into her hair. All right, here is Terry's before, grown out, very blended, kind of a little bit brassy. You don't really see any big impact in her hair at all. It's kind of just all blah. She was feeling blah, very grown out. I think almost a year of growth, and she just wasn't feeling it. So first things first, I went and did a rough cut. I like to do this so that I don't end up highlighting a bunch of hair that doesn't need to be highlighted, or highlighting it in a way for the length and then cutting it later. So clearly this is not a proper haircut, but just taking the ends off. Then I got Redken Flash Lift, put it in my bowl, mixed it up with 20 Vol, and got ready to go to it. I mixed up a low light with Redken Shades EQ 5N. There's Terry eating, because I wanted to go about a half a shade darker than her natural, a little bit darker, because I know it's going to fade, but I want to have a little bit more contrast next to those highlights. Now here, because I want that bright money piece, I'm taking a triangle section from her recession in her temple and her part line. Just clipping that away so that I have that section to work on at the top. Then I want to make sure to get that pop of money piece. There's me crossing my fingers. That turns out okay. I like to have a lot of fun. I make sure I highlight right around the face. The biggest part of the money piece is that you go around the entire hairline. The money piece is the hairline. It's not just around the part. So I take back-to-back sections, folding, anchoring in my foils there, going nice and close up to the root. I am going to do it like a tap, baby, whatever people call it, shadow root, baby tap, whatever the thing is. I'm just going to blend those in so there's not as harsh of demarcation later on. But here I'm going back to back with my foils, anchoring it in, getting nice and close, pushing the foil up, getting my lightener, and going on. I am being careful. She does have lightness on her ends already. Her hair is not super compromised. It's quite healthy, so I'm not too worried about overlapping if I need to get some of those ends bright. Folding it up, I've got the Framar ethereal foils. Ooh, I got that right. If you've watched my other foils, if you watch my other videos, you know that I've pronounced that all sorts of wrong ways. Okay, so going in here, taking another slice. I know this seems crazy to take this many slices, but I want to make sure she's got that pop around the face. So I'm not scared to go right up to the root, get full coverage, back-to-back foils around her face so that she looks bright and blonde with the finished look. Making sure my lightener is fully saturated all the way through. You can see when I very gently crease because I don't want to get anything mixed up. And there, if you think that the foil slid, this is why I fold my foils back, because then you can anchor it in and make sure that there's no bleeding. FYI, there wasn't any bleeding. You know me, I would be honest with you if there had been. There was none because I anchored it there. Now here's a bigger section, and this is where I took my low light. I wanted to make sure she had a bit more pop around that blonde. I'm okay with taking it a little thicker because I'm not trying to get up to the root completely. I'm just trying to match her natural color. So you can see there, I'm like feathering it in. I'm not worried because we're not taking her hair darker than her natural. Like I said, it's like a half a shade darker than her natural, only because I don't, with open or with this kind of look, I just want to keep it looking as natural as possible, but with some of her natural pulled through to get a little bit more pop around the face. So I'm not as worried about getting up to the root because she's got her natural there. My goal always is to give clients the longest wearability in their hair ever. So then I go through here and I'm taking another highlight section, making sure that I get a nice thin section so I'm not my stupid shoulder in the way, so I can get nice and bright, covering it with lightener. I love my Framar pintail comb. I'll actually link it below because this comb makes all the difference when either doing open air balayage or foils. It's a game changer. It's my go-to brush. I don't even like to use other ones ever. Like I have a whole bunch of other ones, and like I love all the Framar stuff, but their pintail comb is my like go-to all-time favorite. I will use it till I die. Okay, so back-to-back foils here again. I'm making sure that I do back-to-back because I want to give it a nice pop. Now you can see there's some brightness on the ends. I don't want to cover that up. So you're going to see what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take another foil. I'm going to place it over so that I can then protect that piece and I don't have to worry about it getting compromised. So here you can see I'm getting up to that top of that corner. I have the back sectioned out. I'm working my way up on the side. I'm taking, I believe, another low light here to bring in some depth to keep it nice and bright and dimensional. This is the thing, is lots of times people over highlight with way too many highlights and they kind of get lost. And that's what Terry's hair was looking like before. It was kind of all a blended mishmash where I want to have some real pop to it. And so by bringing this depth in, you're going to see the blonde pieces that much more. Blonde does not look bright without some depth beside it. It's kind of like putting 3 different colors of white paper next to each other. If it's like white, pearl, off-white, they all kind of look like kind of the same. But if you put like a gray piece of paper in between each of them or a black piece of paper between each of all of them, you'd really see the difference in how brighter they are than each other. That's my analogy for this video. Okay, so going through and highlighting, I'm just going to let you enjoy this little bit and watch how I do it and soak it all in. Really pay attention to the sectioning and how I'm doing it because this is really what made this look amazing. Okay, you can see I'm teasing there just a little bit, making sure I want to drop it down in the root. Okay, hairline. So I want to do that money piece, right? And her hairline kind of goes back near her temple there. So I want to make sure I not only cover there, but also right where her part is. I don't want her money piece to get lost when she wears her hair down. And so a lot of people's hair does fall forward. So you can see I'm taking this angle this way and you'll see I'll work my way around to the front of her hairline. So I'm going to start with a weave here because I want to keep the hairline soft. I'm keeping those little baby hairs out because those will blend in and lighten on their own. And going right, pushing up my foil like that with the tail of the comb so that I get it right close to the root, covering the foil there. Terry looking right into the camera. Whoa, look at those blue eyes though, my goodness. And then pulling the lightener through and leaving a little bit of the ends out. Like I said, I'm not as concerned. Her hair's very healthy and very strong, so I wasn't worried about damaging the ends as you saw as I folded that up in there. Now back to back again, folding. Oh, if only we could work this fast in real life. But you get the picture, kind of similar to what I did. I want to make sure that hairline is seamless. So when she pulls her hair back, it all is bright. So I did all those back to back working up on the side. Now I'm doing back to back here in the temple recession area, making sure she gets full coverage, pulling those ends out, locking those in, and checking how many I've done. You know, that whole anxiety where you're like, how many did I do? Did I do the wrong color? How many, what did I just do the low light? Always double checking that. Okay, so I think that's 4. Then I'm going to do 1 more. Don't be scared to go back to back. I think this is the thing. I see people over highlight, but then also second guess when they do back to back foils. So most people will over highlight with like space in between. It ends up being this like mushy color, but don't be scared to do it. Okay. Hairline. So here's where her part is. I know I cut myself off and I want to make sure that I get brightness right along here around her cowlick because there's her part line. And so when her hair falls, you can see here where I'm kind of pulling it out and also that recession. When her hair falls with the part, I'm going to go that way. I'm trying to remember what I was saying as I do this voiceover, but as her hair falls, I want that bright piece to fall like that. So I'm going to do, once again, around her face. I want to make sure I get this part. This is a part where a lot of people leave out with the money piece. They think the money piece is just on the part line. But if you only do that, then when they pull their hair back, they have a big skunk stripe. And you don't want your clients to have skunk stripes. And so hairline work right around here is so important. My freaking shoulder's in the way here. But you can see I'm working double time, and I'm doing the back to back. So just enjoy and soak this in, and remember to watch this pattern. I don't set out patterns ahead of time because everyone's head shape is different. Everyone's hair type is different. So I base it off of, like, let's go around the hairline. That's the pattern. And then the hairline, how it is situated on that person's hair, dictates how we move internally. Does that make sense? Let me know if that doesn't make sense to you, or you're all in agreement with that. Let me know in the comments below. I really want to know. Really want to make sure I'm verbalizing things in a way that you understand. Okay, so here is this hairline right around the part. So I'm kind of intersecting the part, pushing it right up. You can see where her hair gets a little bit thinner in that recession area, picking off the chunks. We all get those from time to time. And boom, there you go, getting that. So you can see that the part line is in the middle of that, which it'll split and it'll look so good, and she'll get that bright pop all around her face. So back to back, once again, not being scared to take back to back sections, pulling a little bit out. Can you tell I liked pink once upon? Well, I still like pink, but all my stuff is pink right now. Okay, and going in, there we go. So you can see there where I lifted up the hair, put the foil in. You want to lift up the hair like 90-degree angles so that you can get as close to the scalp as possible. So I really like to lift it up and put the foil under there and then bring it up like that, lock it in. That's the way you're going to get the closest to the root as possible and get the most longevity for your clients with foils. So counting the foils there, going in, I'm going to put a low light right here so she has nice depth right beside the rest of her blonde. It's going to be so awesome. I'm not scared. I'm not taking like back-to-back foils. I'm just taking a section and I'm going to pull it down because I don't need, I'm just going with her natural color, right? I'm not worried about thin sections or anything like that. So counting the foil, seeing like it's all covered around her hairline, which looks bomb. Now I'm going to go in internally. Now I want it to be a bit more rooted. Now if I wanted to be super blended, I'd go vertical. If I wanted to be really stripy, horizontal. If I want to be really stripy, I go vertical like I'm showing you there. This way, horizontal blended, vertical stripy. So if I go at a 45-degree angle, it's going to be a little bit bolder, but still blended a little bit. So you'll see here, I'm going to take this section at a 45-degree angle to her part, and I'm going to lift the hair up, put the foil down on the foil, and go right up there. And as I work internally, if you've watched my videos before, and if not, go check out some of the other ones to really get a better idea of how I do things and why I do to get the banging results that I get. So as I work internally towards the crown, I start to drop the root a little bit more because I want it to be brightest around the hairline, and then I want it to kind of melt down her head. That's why I started teasing as I get more internally into the crown so that it has a more natural look. Because if you think of like a kid's hair in the summer, it's always like the 5-year-old kids that have the most beautiful natural highlights. And the sun doesn't naturally highlight it all the way up to the root everywhere. They usually have this bright piece around their face, and it's because their hair's been in a ponytail and it's brightened it up, that internally in the crown it's a little bit darker. And so that's what we want to mimic here while still looking intentionally done. So here's another low light. I want to just, once again, bring that in so that we get some depth around her color so it looks bright and there's pop. But like I said, with the highlights, I want to tease them and I want to drop things down as we work towards the top of the crown of the head. So here I am taking another section, staying 45 degrees to the part. I call it my angle parking placement. I don't know why, just because it's like angle parking. Lift it up, drop it down. Oh, I'm going to tease. I almost forgot there. Here's the thing. I've been in this industry for 20 years. And it's not, I want you to know that if you're waiting for the day that you're perfect, you're never going to get there. There's no such thing as perfect. I remember thinking, oh, the day that I'll be able to do this is when all my clients always come back happy. News alert, friend. clients, even our work is subjective. It's like when you go to an art show and you think, oh my gosh, who would buy that painting? And then someone spends like $1 million on it. You're like, why the heck? Because you hate it and you think it's ugly. That's what we do all day long on people's bodies. Art is subjective. You can be the best colorist there is, but if someone doesn't like your style, it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that's not their style. And that's the really hard part. So waiting for the day that your clients are always happy, or that a client never not likes their hair, like clients are always raving about you. Like, you might get there if you never take new clients, but know that we work in a subjective industry. We create art on people's bodies. What a hard freaking job that is. And so remember, don't beat yourself up if a client doesn't like their hair or they're not feeling it. Know that it is subjective, and what you think looks awesome and what someone else thinks looks awesome, somebody else might think is ugly. And so I think the biggest thing I've learned in the last 20 years in the industry is learning to trust that, like, I am skilled and talented. I know what I'm doing, and I want to continue to learn, and I want to continue to be inspired by others in this industry, but knowing that I'm still a bomb ass stylist, even if someone doesn't like their hair. So there's your little motivational talk during this while you watch my sectioning. But I just want to instill that in you. That confidence that you're looking for needs to be found within yourself. You've got it already, friend. You're here. You're learning. I freaking love that. That's amazing. And I want you to know that you've got so much of what it takes already. Stop looking for it elsewhere. Okay, so back to the hair. Lowlights, highlights, going in, dropping it down, creating all sorts of funness in her hair, locking all those foils in. We're going to start going over the other side soon. I'm just finishing up this section. I'm going to weave here. I'm going to tease, right? Yep. I better. Oh my goodness. What if I was like rewatching, doing the voiceover and being like, I completely disagree with what I just did there. I'd be honest with you. I'd tell you. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so here I went and did the same thing on the other side. I'm curious, how many foils do you think we used? I did count them as I took them out. So maybe I'll have like a fun little contest over on IG if you want to come guess over there. I'll put that up. But there's her foils sitting in almost the creepiest look. So taking them out in double time, you can see, oh my gosh, it lifted so well. Her hair lifts like a dream. She's got that like perfect level 6 base that sometimes you like think might lift, but then it doesn't. And this time it did. So here it is before it is toned, nice and bright. I always get a little itty bitty scared at this stage, being like, oh my gosh, it looks so crazy. But I'm loving how much it lifted. All we have to do is tone. We're not having to like cut through any brassiness, which is really nice. We've got it so beautiful and ready. And so what I first did is I shampooed it with purple shampoo, just to cut out any extra yellow that we don't want in there before we go in and shadow root and tone. So I used my fave, Unite Blonde shampoo, got it all over my hands. Ooh, gave it a good shampoo. Scalp massage is the best. Oh my gosh, this makes me want a scalp massage right now. And then we went and we toned. So what I did first here is with shadow rooting is I pull out, like, I'm not a huge fan of shadow rooting only unless I need to do it, in which this case I do. But if you've watched any of my clay lightener videos, you'll see that you don't need to shadow root with it at all. But here I left the front out. I went in and I tapped the root. Is that maybe what people call it? Root tap? I feel like there's like, so can we just talk about how many freaking names there are for things? Kind of drives me nuts. I toned the root a little bit darker. That's what shadow root is. That's what a root tap is. So I'm just doing a little bit of the roots, leaving out the front because I want to do that last. I want to make sure I'm really careful with it. But getting here, so that just creates that little, it blends it a little bit better. Now, if you want to skip this step in the future, if you don't want to have to do this, it takes extra time. It truly does. It takes extra effort. It costs you and your client a little bit more. Go check out my open air clay lightener videos. You're going to really love those. Those give a much different result. With this, I wanted like a little bit more of that 90s vibe with Terry's hair. And so that's why I went with the foils. So here I am sectioning out the front and making sure that it's nice and clean, just going in and tapping that root, sectioning it really. I probably should have my pintail comb or brush, and I don't. I'm using the Framar Big Daddy, I believe, right there. Is that the Big Daddy? I think so. And just tapping it on the root, just like a centimeter or 1/8 of an inch, whichever, if you're metric or imperial. I'm in Canada. You can see I'm just barely touching the roots just to give it a little blend, but so it like has max brightness around her face. Okay, double time over on this side, doing the same thing, just tapping that root a little bit so that we get nice and bright all around. Being careful where I lay the hair because I don't want it to get low lights on it. Low lights, you know what I mean? Like a spotty from like hitting the other shadow root. But already you can see like just putting that Shades EQ on there just makes a world of difference. So I used 6N in Shades EQ for this. I don't like to go darker than 6N on a shadow root, just because it kind of starts to look goofy. So I used 10VV and 9V for her flash tone. Now I know I get lots of feedback about flash toning. I've been a flash toner since day one. I will always be a flash toner. You could maybe convince me otherwise. Leave a comment, let me know, but I really like it. I went in and finished up her cut, getting it nice and clean, obviously, because that first cut, it looked pretty nasty. We can agree on that. That was just getting those ends out there. I didn't highlight anything under her occipital bone, but here you can see, woo, look at that final look. Hot dang, Terry, you are looking fine. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about it. We curled it with a flat iron, like S-waves to keep it a little bit flatter, and I really love the style. I love the depth in there to make the brightness pop a little bit more. I'm loving her hair. It looks so good. You can see the difference from the before and after. All right, how freaking awesome did her hair turn out? I'm obsessed with it. I just can't stop staring at the pictures. Like the contrast, the brightness, the beachiness of it still. I wanna know, are you gonna try this out on your clients? Did you get inspired? What was an aha moment or maybe a curious moment that you have questions about? Pop them in the comments below. And then why don't you subscribe and hit that bell so that we can hang out each and every week when my new videos are released. If you wanna get to know me a little bit more and become BFFs, hop on over to Instagram, shoot me a DM. I wanna get to know you more. Come say hello, let's be friends. And then until next week, have a great week. I don't know, that's dumb. Should I end that different? Okay. Okay, leave it.